All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience and for your participation. We are excited and we are going to go ahead and get started. So just allow me to just do a little bit of housekeeping right here. We are closing the chat. All right. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and kick things off. Okay. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know me, my name is Shane Hyman. Okay. I'm the CEO of Lifestyle Marketing Group, as well as Next Level Marketing and Advertising. And I'm just honored, and it's an absolute privilege to be a friend and have a relationship and even a partnership, right, with the friendship with an amazing individual who is fearless, who is a leader, who is always giving herself and working really hard to help her team and as many people as possible as she can. Okay, Miss Candy Schultz, by the way. Okay, and I'm so happy with what's happening with DEOPP. I could hardly even contain myself, and I know you guys are too, and I know Candy is as well. So that's why I was so excited to host today's event and a conversation with Candy herself, as well as everybody else who has had the great fortune of knowing DEOPP and knowing what it's all about. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Candy Schultz to the call here. Candy, are you unmuted? But while we're waiting on that, it's so amazing what she's come up with. And me personally, anytime someone can identify some challenges and some problems and come up with solutions, it's a great thing, and I look at DEOPP and since I know Candy and I've had an opportunity to grow to get to know her over the years, that really all of her experience, everything that she's gone through, the good and the bad, has all been rolled up into one. And there's much more where this came from, but to look at DEOPP and to understand DEOPP and what it is and where it came from, I'm just honored to be able to know a little bit of the backstory of what happened and what inspired this to be a reality. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a reality. Okay, what we're going to talk about and what's being shared with DEOPP is real. It's here, and it's not coming in the future. And that's what's so exciting. It's a refreshing approach to opportunities in many different ways. So I'm not going to go into too many details. Okay, I'm just going to wait for Candy to do that as well. I'm just working on unmuting her. There's a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I'll apologize for that as we work on getting her done. So here's what I'm going to do, Candy. I'll make you the host, okay? And that is going to give you free range to do everything, including unmute yourself and any other hang up. And I could always reclaim the host back at any time. So let's see now. Candy, if you could try to unmute yourself again, you may have success. Let's try it. Okay, I feel like I'm hearing
having
something.
some problems, Shane.
I appreciate
this is
that.
Dr. Trish.
I appreciate that.
Trish. I think she's having some issues. So I think she's going to call back in and see if it works. So.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate that as well.
No problem. I'm really excited to get to hear her talk about it too.
I'm telling you, I mean,
she's got some passion behind it, and
that's perfect.
It's really a sweet
Isn't
thing.
it refreshing? Isn't it refreshing?
It is.
We get the voice clips, and they always light me up. They're very invigorating. So when we can get her live in person in the conversation, it's just like, yes. So, all right, guys.
Yeah, it makes me smile. That's for sure.
There we go.
All right. I will mute now.
I'm here. So thank you so much. Yes, I had a little unmuting issues, but you know what? That is why I love smart contracts, because human error just goes by the wayside.
That's right.
Yes. So thank you so much, Shane. I know I had to log off and log back in. So I heard the beautiful and wonderful Miss Patricia Hayner speaking, and I'm not sure what I missed. So just catch me up for a minute here.
Oh, we were just saying how wonderful you are.
Oh, gosh, Trish. Well, thank you.
And that we were very excited about hearing your passion when we're talking about DEOPP. So we were just kind of, giving the introduction, and that you're going to be very passionate, and we're really looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
go for it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you. And when I first, so what is DEOPP? I think we all know, every letter within DEOPP has a meaning behind it. And DEOPP stands for the Decentralized Empowerment of Prospering People. And everything from the letter to what stood behind it, to what DEOPP would become, came to me out of what? Out of frustration. And, I've heard a long, long time ago that if there's something in the world that you don't like, and, and you think that somebody should change it, and somebody doesn't, then maybe you're that somebody. And, Trish, as long as you've known me, what is my email address been? I don't know if you're unmuted, but
yeah, I just unmuted myself. So it's be the someone.
Yeah, it's be the someone. It's been that way for years. My children are in their 30s now, my son and my daughter, and that's just been, DEOPP is really just, what am I about? What's important to me? And, I would share that with my children. Hey, you be the someone, when you're out there in the public school system, don't let somebody influence you into not being who you are. You be the someone, you be the influence wherever you can be. And if you see something and you have any part of it, then you be the someone who does something. And so I literally just woke up, so many things in the marketplace, without mentioning what they are. I'm sure that we've had a similar experience, if you've been a part of this online world. And you know what? You've had it if you've been a part of the offline world. If you've, back in the days before, Facebook and all of the opportunities that we see, that very much started out centralized opportunities, basically, where you join a company and there's a product or service, and you align and you become a representative or a partner, and then you decide to sell this product or service, and you're put into a matrix, and all of these magical things are supposed to happen, right? And they don't happen for everyone. And in fact, they happen for very few people. And so, we've all had our share of frustrations. No matter what we're doing, we have frustrations on our jobs and all of those things. But then along came, smart contracts, in this whole cryptocurrency world and this whole decentralized world, right? Along came that. And it came to do something. It came to empower people with freedom. And, you'll remember, Trish, and many people on my team. And really, what is my team? My team right now is, less than 100 really great friends. And it's closed, nobody, it's closed access. It's just a group of people who have decided to stick with me, right? And that really touched me, because I was done. I was done with anything that couldn't be passive. And so my goal was, 2021 was going to be the year of passive earnings. So there was a whole myriad of things, of course, to align with and to look at. And Trish, the first thing that I want to do is my due diligence, and, asking the hard questions, doing all of the hard things, and then hoping that the thing that you're aligning with is actually going to do what they say they're going to do. And how do all of those things start out? Well, they start out with a lot of hype and a lot of promises and a lot of talk and a lot of Zooms building up to that day. you know, when this particular thing is going to do this particular thing, and this is going to be life changing, and you've never seen anything like it, and this is the best, and this is why it's the best. I mean, it just becomes white noise because we've all heard it. We've all been there. We've all done that. Now, are all of those things bad? Are all of the people behind them bad? No, it's just when you're dealing with the human condition and the human being, you know, they can only do what they can do. And people have really good intentions sometimes, and things just don't align the way that you had wanted them to, right? So now we're in this decentralized world, and I'm like, yeah, here's our hope. You know, here is the answer to wanting to earn passively. And everything that we looked at, you know, could have and should have and had the potential to do really great things for, you know, the passionate person who wanted to earn passively, and you know what, who was willing to put their money into it, who was willing to invest their very hard-earned money, hopefully that they could afford to lose, into this particular thing. And I cannot think, and Patricia, please correct me, or Shane, please correct me, I can't think of one thing that really just wasn't able to deliver. But when you're looking at the decentralized world, you're thinking, wait a minute, it's a smart contract. Well, therein lies really, really the thing that was so frustrating to me, because you're looking at the smart contract and you're thinking it has the potential to change the world. And we will see more and more smart contracts out in the centralized world becoming decentralized. We will see them. But a smart contract, as beautiful and as smart and as wonderful as it is, it's immutable. It can't be changed. You're not expecting anyone to keep their promise for you. If the smart contract has been coded correctly and it's been audited to say that, hey, there's no back doors, there's no scams, you know, this smart contract's going to do what it's coded to do. But then what's it going to do? Well, it's going to do exactly what it was designed to do. So everything that we looked at, you know, really, I mean, I don't know what else to call it other than a money game. You know, what is a money game? It's where you're just depending on money, money in, money, money in, money, money in, so that money, money can come out, and money, money can come out. Well, what's going to sustain it? Well, any business on the planet has to have sustainable revenue, right? Every business, anything that you can think of, has to have revenue to sustain it. We were told in one particular smart contract that I researched, you know, upwards and backwards, you know, especially because you learn by doing, right? You learn from the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I said, okay, this looks good, but how's this going to sustain itself? Well, we were told that, well, we're creating a couple other streams and we're going to take the revenue from that. And then we're going to utilize it to help to, you know, we're going to use that as revenue and we're going to put it into the smart contract. Boom. There's the big red light. So now we're depending upon people to do what they say they're going to do, because you see the smart contract's already launched. You know, if you would have programmed it so that that revenue would automatically and immutably go into that smart contract, that's great. But now we're depending on human beings to do what they say they're going to do. And to do what they say they're going to do would mean they would have to be adding revenue that they told us that they were going to add to the smart contract. And that didn't happen. And so what did happen was a zero balance. Okay, well, we're going to make this up to you by coming up with another smart contract. Well, the definition of insanity, now this isn't Webster's definition, right? This isn't Webster's definition, but this is the live life and learn definition. The definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So the genius thing, you know, that happened, you know, they thought was so despicable, because they just created another smart contract. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't you learn from the first one? Wait a minute. You've got those revenue streams up and going. Why didn't you design the second smart contract to automate the revenue going into the smart contract? I'd say they probably couldn't figure out how to do it, because you see, when I created DEOPP, and when I say created, I mean I dreamed it, and then I designed it, and I thought, is this possible? I had a bunch of scribbles on a piece of paper. I've never done anything like this. And I've done a lot of things, been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. So you'd hope a person would learn a thing or two about a thing or two. But most everything I've done has been in the centralized world. The decentralized world is rather new to everyone, and it's new to me. So, Trish, do you have anything you want to add before I just keep going there?
No, you're doing great.
You keep going. Okay.
Yeah,
So, I'm up in the middle of the night. I go down to the kitchen table and I start writing things out because I thought, wait a minute, why isn't it done this way? And why couldn't we do this? And, I've been studying the banking industry for years. The first time I ever got a mortgage, my question was, wait a minute, how can they afford to give me $100,000 and wait 30 years for me to pay them back? Like, there's got to be something to this. I've been around business all my life. My daddy, had businesses and was an entrepreneur. One of the things I remember him saying is sometimes if you want something done the way you want it done, then you're just going to have to do it yourself. So, it was a marriage of that thought coming to me, of like my daddy speaking to me. And then, quite frankly, just really feeling the hand of God, just reminding me of all of these things, all of these years, because our mind can only remember so much, right? That's why we keep journals and things like that. But it was everything. It was like a download. It was like a human download. Everything that I had learned for years and years and years, up to the most recent thing that I was frustrated about, just all came together into DEOPP, even the name, even the letters, everything. And I thought, why can't we actually create a smart contract, a decentralized passive earnings ecosystem, and actually have it programmed into a smart contract? And then let's deploy it on the blockchain. Let's not depend on human beings doing what they say they're going to do. Let's make sure that it's in a smart contract and that it's coded correctly. And to make sure that it's coded correctly, let's get it audited, third-party audited, so that an auditing company can either prove or disprove what it is that we want to do, because we want that done, right? We don't want to put anything out there that, we wouldn't put our child, we wouldn't introduce our child. And so I just had all of these writings on a piece of paper, and I thought, my goodness, where am I going to find a programmer? And every single thing I did was just, it was a little bit awe-inspiring. It really was, because everything came together. But Trish, you remember what I did? I called you and I said, I need to talk to you as soon as possible. Now, why did I want to talk to Trish? Because Trish is somebody that I know, like, and trust. We've become really good friends. But Trish is very intelligent. Miss Patricia Hayner has a doctorate in engineering and works for a company that builds robots, for goodness sakes. And I trusted her when it came to either proving or disproving what I said was right. And so what happened next, Trish?
You walked me through it and I was like, So I had to make, I looked at it, and of course we had just had the experience of the zero balance, right? So I was like, I have to admit, I was a little anxious, but as I was looking at the numbers, I mean, I made a couple of suggestions and said, okay, trying to steer away from some of the issues that we knew we had from, our recent experiences, and said, let's tweak it a little bit here and tweak it a little bit there. And I don't know, it was pretty awesome how it came together. And yeah, I mean, there's probably a couple of things that now, I mean, we continue to learn, right?
Yes.
So maybe there will be another DEOPP of some sort with some more things that we're learning, but this one is working flawlessly. I was like, Candy, this will work, because I love your explanation about the banks. I mean, how do the banks stay in business, right? After all their, they loan out money like crazy, and they take your money in, and granted, they will hold your money without a shadow of a doubt, right? If there's anything that's kind of like a little crazy or they think it's odd or something, they're going to hold your money. And I was like, I
Mhm.
deposited a check and, they hold it for 7 days. Well, you know what they're doing? And
Yeah.
I'm obviously preaching to the choir here, but they're
Yes.
using your money, right? And they're making money off of your money while you can't do anything with it. So the thing that really got me was, I still have control of what I put into this account. And
Mhm.
that was great. So I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean,
Sorry,
listen,
I'm actually get
no,
passionate about it
no.
too.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I want this very much to be, Shane and you and I and a couple of our friends here who may want to speak. We're all just at dinner and we're sitting around and you've heard a little bit about DEOPP and now you want to talk about it. Well, what is DEOPP and how did you come up with this and what does it do? I mean, that's what we're doing. I think that we've all, seen more than our share of opportunity presentations and launches and this is what this is going to be and this is what that's going to be. I think we've all been there and done that so many times that sometimes when you're on a Zoom, an opportunity Zoom, a presentation, it really just becomes white noise. And that's not what I want to do. I just want to have a conversation. I just want to, we're just out talking and I'm sharing with you what is DEOPP? Why did I create it? How does it work? And so the banking system, what do? They charge fees, they charge interest. And I mean, they've really got the gig of the world, right? Because they get to use your money. you know we look at banks like, okay, our dad did it, our grandpa did it, it's great, we're putting our money in there and it's a safe place. And oh my goodness, you mean they're willing to give me a 0.5% for leaving my money in there for a year? Well, you put $100 in there, they just got $1,000 leverage because most banks are allowed to leverage 10 times whatever money they hold on their books. That's why they're willing to give you a free account if you sign up for direct deposit, because your money is making money for them. Your money is leverage. Okay. I mean, they get to do it. They get to do it. Okay. So why don't we take our power back? Why don't we in the decentralized world, freedom thinking people who get it, who would like to, well, we don't have to have a building. We're not paying bonuses. We're not paying tellers. We're not paying salaries. We actually want to utilize the leverage of that money and earn some income for ourselves. And I don't like the word fees. I don't. It just sounds negative, and we are feed and penalized and interest charged. You know, I don't even think we could ever count, how many things and how many ways, we've been charged fees. So if we really want to create a decentralized passive earnings ecosystem deployed on the blockchain, written as a smart contract so that it's immutable, why don't we do so? And we actually benefit from it, we the people. Now it's just, again, crazy to think that you can put money in and take money out and eventually that's not going to run out. Of course it is. That's why it was so important to me when I interviewed the master distributors of a particular smart contract. I wanted to know, where was the revenue coming from? So if something is going to support you, then should you do? You should support the very thing that is supporting you. That's what you should do. That's what we should all do. We're all willing to go out to dinner and have them cook us dinner, even though we could perfectly, cook it ourselves. And if we can't, we can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? But we still have to pay for all of those things. We're willing to pay for what we want. So why wouldn't we pay, for a system, or help sustain it rather, if it's going to benefit us? Support the very thing that's supporting you. So what I love about DEOPP as a user myself, because you see, I don't own DEOPP. Once I deployed it on the blockchain, I gave it to you. I gave it to the world. It's the people's. DEOPP will go on whether I ever talk about it again. And that's the beautiful thing. It's for the people. It's not inexpensive to create a smart contract of this caliber. It also takes more than just a day. It takes so much time. I never even knew how much time and how much sleep that I would not get. But when you are really passionate about something, you can't sleep anyway. And every little thing, trying to perfect it in such a way that you're really, okay, what would I want? What is it that was frustrating me? What is it that I would be looking for in a passive earnings ecosystem? What is it that I want? So I really just created what I wanted, and I'm sharing it with everyone else. And that's really what DEOPP is. Do you want to add anything, Trish or Shane?
Well, I mean, I just love it. I mean, between yourself and Dr. Trish, your articulation is so spot on, and it's so authentic in its nature of how it was built, why it was built, and what it's going to do. But really, it's just, me personally, Candy, I love how you really had a desire to set out to do things so differently, right? And
Mm-hmm.
strategically, and why, so that way
Mm-hmm.
people aren't, numb to the same old things, and that way they can feel empowered in their participation. I mean, the
Yeah.
system is totally reciprocal. So when you're paying into it, you feel good about it. It's a contribution.
Yes.
That contribution is sowing a seed to one of the largest solutions that are needed in these type of smart contracts to prevent that
Yes.
zero balance and more beyond. And then to have an opportunity to participate in something that functions exactly like a bank and to
Yeah.
benefit from that and to make things even better, as if they couldn't get any better, the barrier to entry is low enough for practically anybody to get started and let the system start to work and compound and help them build up even more into what they have and really who they want to become. Okay, because to me, success is just a spark. It's connected to so much more. Okay,
Yeah.
and this spark could be the thing that leads to so much more with so many people. Okay, not
Mm-hmm.
just financially, but everywhere. Because so many people are broken. So many things look like they were going to work. They sounded like they were going to work, and by golly, we believed that they were going to work. We knew they were going to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't, right? So many people are broken, and there's time, there's an opportunity, and there's a solution, and that's part of what makes me so excited, even though there's so many other things, right? But
Yes.
I'm so excited about those aspects, and that's what I wanted to share in this moment. Thanks, Candy.
Thank you so much, Shane. Yeah, and what was really important to me as well. So only my closest friends knew that I was creating DEOPP. The team that I was talking about, my less than 100 friends, where we just stick together and we're in a chat. And I communicate with them every day. I don't think that there's a day where they don't hear something from me. And what I got to the point of doing is I said, hey guys, there's not one thing out there that I can support. There's just not. But there's the whole crypto asset world, and I share with them, my thoughts. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and I just share with friends, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I think is going to happen. But do your own due diligence and see what you think, because there was just nothing that I could support. But I knew that this could be done if it were designed correctly. And then is the task then for a programmer to do something that's never been done. The code, the way that DEOPP is automated, had never been written before. It had never been done before. And that didn't scare me, because one of my favorite stories, and my kids have heard this always growing up, is the Henry Ford story, where he decides he wants an 8-cylinder motor. And his engineers tell him, well, you know what, that's never been done before and it can't be done. And he said, it can be done. And don't come back and tell me that it's not done. Just show me what you got. And so we all know how that story ends. They created an 8-cylinder motor, and 8-cylinder motors are all over the world in all different types of vehicles. And everything that's ever been created, in this life that you can think of, came from an idea. That's what it came from. Everything,
Right.
from the food that you eat, from the furniture that you sit on, to this very Zoom platform, that we are just having a conversation on right now. It came from an idea, and then it came from figuring out how to get it done. And so yesterday morning, I wake up, I actually got about 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And it was like, this voice inside of me, Candy, this is just the beginning. DEOPP's just the starting platform. And then a whole other level of DEOPP came about. And so I just believe that what we're doing is we're creating a decentralized way to passively earn an income that will always be immutable, programmed on the smart contract. You're not ever going to depend on me, you, or anyone else to do what we say we're going to do. It's going to be programmed. It's going to be written on a smart contract. It's going to be deployed on the blockchain, and it's going to be audited by a third-party audit who has nothing to gain by giving you the green light and saying this is safe, but everything to lose, if they didn't audit you correctly. So the whole design of that is just what makes me appreciate smart contracts and the decentralized world. Because, as I mentioned before, people can have the best of intentions and just things don't work out. But if something is programmed the way that it's programmed, that's it. I couldn't control it. And so, what we did is we took that ugly word fee, and but really deeper than that is the concept behind it. Why are those fees and interest created? Well, it's to create revenue for the bank so they can sustain themselves and they can build more banks and they can pay salaries. Well, what DEOPP has is power contributions. It's giving power to the people. It's saying, DEOPP, you've been created. You're immutable. You're a smart contract. This is what you say you're going to do. And I don't have to wonder if you're going to do it or not, because you're already doing it, right? There was no hype. You probably didn't even hear about DEOPP before. Only my closest friends knew what I was creating. There was no hype. There was no, oh my goodness, you better hurry up and get in line with somebody so that you can get a link. There was none of that, because I don't want to sell you anything. All I want to do is share enough information with you so that you can make a decision that's right for you. That's why DEOPP.com, if you go there, everything you could want to know is there, from the smart contract transparency to the white paper to the third-party audit. Everything is conveniently there so that you can do your own due diligence. And guess what? If you have any questions whatsoever, please sit back and wait, because DEOPP is going to prove itself. It's either going to prove or disprove itself, right? Just like anything does. Any restaurant that opens, anything out there on the planet is going to prove or disprove itself. The wonderful thing about DEOPP is it's immutable. And what makes it sustainable is that it has its own automated organic power contributions, which provides that automated sustainable revenue for the contract itself. So in other words, if you're looking for free, this isn't for you. But if you want to support something that's going to support you, then you're going to be supportive as a community. And you're going to do what's called a power contributions. For instance, I'm going to use numbers, US instead of Tron. If you want to, contribute $100 to be able to, get started with the smart contract, and you do only need 100 Tron, but just for math purposes, if you put $100 in, $9 or $10 of that, okay, because 10% of your contribution is going to go as revenue for the smart contract itself. You see, all of these smart contracts, we'll pay you 15%, 12 levels deep. And everybody is, well, not everybody, but many people are very excited because, oh my goodness, I got to hurry up and share with so-and-so because I'm going to get 7% of their, of their contribution. And that's what's on their mind. It's what is that bottom line? What is that dollar? So our power, our growth rewards, okay, are very conservative. They're 8%. That's very conservative. And how great is it? You're already earning money passively by doing nothing. But if you decide you want to share, hey, you can get a growth reward from that. Why is it called a growth reward? Because you're being rewarded for helping DEOPP to grow. It's as simple as that. It's not a commission. It's a growth reward. You're going to get 3% of everybody you tell about it, share it with, hopefully authentically, after you've had some experience with it yourself. You're going to get a growth reward for that. And they're going to be making a power contribution and helping support the very community, the very DEOPP that's supporting you. So we don't get paid unless DEOPP gets paid first. It's just insanity to think that you can put money somewhere and get money back out and there's no revenue going in. Come on, we all know what that is. It's a game. It's a game. And I won't have any part of it. And, we've all been a part of it. but only because we were told, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to sustain it. Well, why didn't you program it in the smart contract that way then? And that's just what really got me. Why hasn't anyone done this? So all I wanted to do was put together the very thing that I so desired myself, so that all of the time and the resources that I've lost, that you've lost, that our family has lost, that our friends have lost, because we thought this one thing was going to be the answer and it was going to be around, and it lasted 6 months. That's a little heartbreaking. Even if you did only put in what you could afford to lose, it's still heartbreaking, because what does a heart and a mind start to do when you see something working? Well, you get hope and you think, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to retire. And it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing when you lose hope, or when hope is taken from you. And so what I want to do, if it's okay, Shane, I think we have Brian Farrell on here, and he's on my team. He's become a very good friend. He's got a great YouTube channel. Everyone should go over and check it out. And I asked him, I said, Brian, would you please, do a review of DEOPP? And, he did it. I didn't even know he had done it. I didn't know what he had to say or what he even thought of DEOPP until I watched his video on it myself. So Brian, if you don't mind to unmute him, I just would like to get his thoughts on DEOPP.
All right, Brian, I clicked the button. I think you should be unmuted. And by the way, yes, great video. I've watched it several times. Thanks, Brian. We're hearing a little wind and some muffling. Maybe if you can get closer to the microphone. There we go. Yeah, much better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not the best at technology either, but I take what I learn and just move on with it. Shane, thank you so much for putting this together. We really appreciate all your help you do helping us and Candy, and she's phenomenal. I've known Candy for a few years now, and I can't say enough positive things about her. I'm gonna try to turn my son's tablet down so you don't hear too much background music here. Let's turn this down, buddy. On my few days off, I have to actually be online full time. I'm not in my day job right now, so I can be online to help give some feedback and give some insight and some understanding of what I know about DEOPP and what Candy has presented to us. And essentially, the way I look at everything is, education. Everything is all about being educated about the right things and the right products and having choice and deciding for yourself what works best for you, right? I just learned about smart contracts last year through the help of Candy, and I quickly learned, the good and bad of smart contracts, very quickly. And the main thing that I learned about smart contracts, and I really appreciate about DEOPP in particular, is that, like Candy has been saying over and over again, smart contracts really are designed to do what they're designed to do. And that's it. I mean, they basically take out the middleman. For me, I'm kind of a visual person. So if you think about a smart contract, one way I can think of a smart contract, someone had said to me, and I kind of want to borrow from that idea, is that a smart contract is similar to like a vending machine, right? If you have a vending machine sitting outside of a building, and that vending machine is filled with snacks and drinks, right? That vending machine is designed to do certain functions, and there's nobody can change that, right? So it's pretty much a smart contract's also like it's a if this happens, then this happens type of deal. Okay, so if you do this action, you get this result. So same way, take a vending machine. It's filled with these drinks and snacks and so forth. So if the drinks cost $2 and the snacks cost $1, well, if you put in $2, then you can press a button and get this certain drink. If you put in $1, you can press a different button and get this certain snack. Well, if you put in 50 cents, then there's no action that's going to happen because it's designed to need certain input in order to get certain output, right? A smart contract is the exact same way. It takes people out of the equation. It says, if you do this action, this result will happen. If you don't do this action, nothing's going to happen because there's certain ideas that have to flow there. And the reason why DEOPP wasn't hyped and wasn't a lot of rush to talk about DEOPP before it came out is because that Candy understands that by creating DEOPP, we're not creating this to try to make money. Okay. We're not, I mean, of course, in the end, we want to make money, but the goal isn't to just say, let's just get rich. We're going to get rich together. How do we do that? Right. That's not the goal. The goal is to actually, in my opinion, and I hope Kenny can agree with this, the goal is to give the choice and the power back to individuals, because like banks and corporations and other business entities, they take that power from you, right? Well, smart contracts actually give that power back to you. They allow you to actually make educated decisions, and that once you make those educated decisions and you take action, you're going to get certain results. And then I appreciate that about the smart contract, especially about DEOPP. It basically says, if you do this certain thing, you're going to get a certain reaction from it. Now, what I also wanted to express is that the reason why we didn't hype this to everybody, the reason why Kenny said, I don't want you guys going out there and getting leads now. This is stuff's in the works. I will let you know as I get more approval and more things tested that we're working correctly. Then I'll share it with you as such. And she didn't want us going out and saying, hey, go grab as many people as you can, bring your friends and your family and make a list of all these people and go get somebody who's going to bring in a whole team of 500 people. No. It's not all about that. And the reason why is because you have to realize that, everything doesn't fit everybody, and not everybody is your customer. Okay. There's a lot of times where people will come online and they make connections, quote unquote connections on Facebook. And then they're jumping your messenger. It's like, hey, I want to show you this. Hey, this is life changing. Hey, check this out. And you have to realize that smart contracts are great. They work phenomenally. They work as they're designed to do. And I love that about that. They take out the human the human need to approve things or to disprove things or to take action. The smart contract will just do what's designed to do. But I'm going to be honest, it's not for everybody. Okay. If you're listening to my voice, I don't want everybody on this call to go get every single family member and every single friend to join. I don't want them all here. Okay. I want to see quality people come in who are educated about what a smart contract is first. That's why Candy put all the information out there, so you can get educated about what you're getting into before you decide to make that educated decision for yourself.
Right.
And it needs to be individuals that actually, understand the risk, want to take the risk, and are okay with that risk. I mean, in my videos, my whole YouTube channel is all about passive income. I'm all about finding different ways to make money work for you. Right, because I'm tired of working for money. I'm tired of going and doing slaving and having to work for exchange hours for money. I'm tired of that. But I love coming back to a passive income stream that I've set up previously and turning it on and see what my results are now. Oh, look, it's gone up. And I didn't do anything for that because I got involved with something that was passively working for me. Now, that's not the same for everybody. Not everybody is cool with that. Not everybody has that same mentality. Everybody can't be a dentist. Everybody can't be a doctor. Everybody can't be a ballerina. Everybody can't be in the military. Everybody can't be an Olympic gold medalist. Everybody can't be a teacher. Everybody can't design smart contracts. Everybody can't host a Zoom. We don't want every single person saying this is for everybody. This is for the people who understand there's will be risk involved because everything in life is a risk. And if you have some money that you can afford to lose, here's an opportunity that might be right for you. Take a look at what we have, look at all the information, and decide if it works for you. And if it doesn't, no hard feelings. I'm not here to pressure you. I'm not here to say you must buy this, you must join this. It's not about pressure and about getting everybody on, to join in. My YouTube channel is all authentic people who I've gotten to join, authentically. It's not me buying leads. It's not me doing email spams, email campaigns. I don't collect emails, anything like that. I'm not going to try to hit you up later on. I'm simply just providing information to educate you. And if you decide something right that fits into you, what your goal in life is, or what your financial desire is, then let's partner together. We can work it out together, and we can be a team. We can learn from each other. Teach me something, I'll teach you something. Reach one, teach one. I mean, it's amazing what Candy has done here, because she has actually taken the ideas that other people have had and the failures that other things have transpired from those ideas, and find a way to resolve those. Okay. Now, will something else come out that's probably better? Absolutely. Will something come out that's going to be worse than this? Absolutely. This is not the end all be all. This is not the end of the road. This is not the one thing to say, yes, everybody should get on this because it fits the perfect model and everybody can get rich in 6 months. Nobody's telling you that. Nobody's telling you you're going to be rich in 6 months. Nobody's telling you you're going to be rich in 3 years. No, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, except I know one thing is going to happen tomorrow. This smart contract will still be here. And when I go to sleep, it'll still be running in the background. I know when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to have some money in my pocket that I
Right.
didn't looking for.
Yep.
Yes.
If I turn on my phone and I look at my TronLink wallet and it says, oh, you got paid. You got paid again. You got paid again. And I didn't do anything but do some work one time. And it starts paying me over and over and over again because that's what a smart contract is designed to do. And the good thing I like about this particular smart contract is that every action that you take on the smart contract first feeds the smart contract before it feeds us. And that's not been done before. That is one of the things that was truly missing from the quote unquote successful smart contracts prior to this, because they did not have a way to keep feeding the contract organically and automatically every single time an action was made. And because of that, other contracts wind up failing. And I see this smart contract going on a very, very long time. And it is definitely about the people you bring into it. This is not for whales. This is not for people who have a whole lot of money. This is not for people who want to be greedy. If you come in thinking that I need to get paid, I need to take this $1,000, I need to have $1,300 by the end of the week, this is not for you. If you come in saying that I'm going to be rich next month if I do this, this is not for you. You know, this is a long-term strategy,
Right?
And you have to understand that everything you do in life is going to be a risk. And as long as you're okay with that risk, and you're an adult, and you can accept that risk for yourself, then we can win together and we can lose together. But in the end, I always say, if you ever fail and you start over, you're not starting over from scratch. You're starting over now with experience. Take that experience, learn from it, grow from it. And I could talk all day, so I don't want to take too much time from anyone else who wants to speak. But Candy, I thank you for giving me the platform to speak on. And Shane, thank you much for, again, hosting this opportunity for us.
Very well
You were
said.
so
You are
awesome,
absolutely
Brian.
welcome. Wow.
Yes. Thank you, Brian. I am just thankful and excited for DEOPP all over again. And you know, I love everything that you said. I agree with it. I didn't know what you were going to say, but I do know that, you know, we're freedom thinkers and we think alike. And that's exactly right. I think maybe even somebody made the comment to you, Brian, they didn't like the growth rewards. They weren't high enough. Guess what? Then please go somewhere else, because you know what? Our growth rewards are what they are because there's a science of numbers behind it. They're very sustainable. You know, who wants a smart contract that's only going to be around for a couple weeks, you know, or even 6 months? By 6 months, you've gotten acclimated to it. Hey, you've built that hope up. And, you know, another thing, you're not going to find any fine print. You're not going to find any fine print with DEOPP. I want you to be so educated on the growth rewards, the fact that you will not put money into DEOPP that's going to go to work for you, okay? And you're not going to take any of your, say, money, say Tron, out of DEOPP without feeding it first. So when you put money in, you feed DEOPP first. When you take money out, you put DEOPP first. Why? Because DEOPP's going to work for you. All you have to do is very, very little, right? DEOPP's the one in the background. That smart contract is working for you immutably. So, you know, anywhere you can look from, if you understand coding, from the smart contract, which most people aren't going to recognize that coding, but you can read an audit report, and you can read a PDF white paper, and you can read on the very site itself, the DEOPP.com. I've put it so many places that I wanted it, and it repeated it on purpose because I wasn't trying to hide the fact that we're going to pay growth rewards. I'm proud of the fact. I love the fact that I am willing to take money to make money and to feed the very thing that's now I speak at it like it's a person, but you know, I'm feeding DEOPP because DEOPP has agreed to feed me. How did it agree to feed me? Just like Brian was talking about. It's already programmed to do so. So no one could change it if they wanted to. It is what it is. And so when I talk about that and we talk about, the way that we, I think when I looked before this, then we have 113 members. I'm so thankful that we have 113 members today instead of 1,300 members. Why? Because I know that, I created it and I had input from Trish to help me, specifically numerically work out those tabs, and I had it audited and it was programmed correctly. But I would rather DEOPP prove itself. I would rather DEOPP run, with a group of people who see it and got it. And we're not out there telling anyone this is what this is going to do when it's launched. What's already launched? It's already doing what it's going to do. So then if you're skeptical or you're worried or you've been burnt before, there's no hurry. There's no race. You're not going to get anything more, if you join today or if you join next month, other than, the passive rewards that you would have gotten daily, but that's okay. You need to feel confident. You need to make the decision that's right for you. And that's what it's all about. Enough of the nonsense, right? It's just enough of it. It's enough of all of it. DEOPP was designed, it was given to the people, it was given to all of us. We all earn the same way passively. DEOPP's going to do what it's going to do, and you can watch it and see what it's going to do. There's no rush, and there's very low risk at 100 Tron. But look at everything. Go to thedeopp.com. And if somebody brought you here, then just get with them and let them know you're ready to try it. And if you have even the slightest question, then you are the person that should wait. And, and like Brian shared too, I love that our share rewards are very conservative, 8% total, because they're sustainable. The power contributions have already created revenue for those. It's not some silly money game where the money's actually coming out of what's supposed to be paying us. Okay. We know what it is. We're calling it what it is. It's revenue to support the growth rewards. Another 2% is revenue to support the smart contract itself. And so therein lies the foundation for something that's finally working. How do we know it's working? Because it's working. Will it still be working in a month? We'll come back and see. Okay, you have the link. You can check the smart contract anytime you want. You can see how many people are involved. And I do have one little pet peeve, if I can share that with you. And that is, sadly, people have become addicted to hype. They think if they're not seeing it all over Facebook and hasn't launched yet, and there's not fireworks and all kinds of promises of what it's going to do, and 1,000 people aren't ready to come in the second that it goes live, that it must not be real. Well, I just want to ask you, how have all of those things worked out for you? How have they worked out for you? I can tell you how they worked out for me. They failed miserably. So I would much rather have a core group of like-minded people, freedom-thinking people who have read everything, because, and Brian can attest to this, and so can Trish, and so can Shane. I said to everyone, do not sign up just because you know me, like me, and trust me. I want you to read the smart contract. I want you to read the audit. I want you to read the white paper and the PDF. And then I want you to make a decision that's right for you. I made the decision that was right for me by designing it and then giving it to everyone, right? That's what you do when you design a smart contract. So why are smart contracts designed? Well, usually, you're put into a Telegram group with 3,000 or 4,000 other people, and you become a fish, and they're just hoping that they're going to catch you, with their bait. You didn't ask to be put in there. Why would I join you when you just madly, and despicably and unprofessionally added me to a Telegram group? You've already told me right there that you don't respect me, because you didn't ask me as a human being professionally if I want to even see or hear about what it is you've created in this Telegram group. So, you just remove yourself. So we're different, and sometimes being different scares people because they want to follow the sheep. They want to follow what everybody else is doing. They want to follow what's popular. And, it takes strength and it takes courage, but we're not desperate. And when you're not desperate for people to join you, that means you're confident. And I would much rather join someone who was confident than who was trying to hype everyone up and not being able to get me in quick enough. And I think I've probably said enough for now. I'm sure everybody has things to do and there'll be more to say. But I hope that you'll see that this was just a real and raw. I don't have a note one in front of me, this is just from my heart. This is from my soul. And if anybody else has anything to add, please let me know. And thank you so much for listening. And if you're listening on a recording, thank you so much for taking the time to do that.
Well, Candy, I'll just say this was a wonderful and fantastic, really conversation, right? To talk about really where it all began, how it came, why it's here, and what we're doing moving forward. And really just to kind of close out, unless someone, I know Dr. Trish will probably have some closing words too, but literally there's no fear of loss. There's no nonsense, right? Because it's not a money game or a people game. It's not predicated on any of those things. So why is every other program hyped so much? Because the only real way that it will see any success, even if it's just temporary success, is if it's hyped, if they can get those massive numbers out the rip. And what's been designed here and built here by Candy is not predicated on those same parameters, to the point where it could stand on its own feet and grow from there, and it could do the talking for itself. So no fear of loss, no nonsense, just a real smart contract with real passive earnings on what you deposit, real growth rewards that'll be long-term and sustainable, and a real solution for the right people who are looking for it. Because there's so many people out there say that they want success, say that they want solutions, but they really don't. They want the hype. They want to be toyed with, right? And I love what Brian said, because we're looking for those real people who really want real solutions, and we'll find them. They'll find us. And so that's really refreshing to come at it from a different approach. And with that being said, if we didn't have any other closing remarks, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Dr. Trish, did you have any closing remarks?
No, I think we're at the top of the hour, so I think we're good. I just totally agree with everything that you, Brian, and of course Candy has said. So just wish everybody a blessed evening.
Fantastic. Thank you again, Dr. Trish. Thank you, Brian, as well, for everything that you've done and your wonderful input in today's meeting. And last but certainly not least, thank you very much, Candy, for your hard work, for your dedication, your diligence, your tenacity, and your ability to really connect with yourself, to connect with God, and to stay the course and literally create, design, and deliver such a positive and impactful solution that we all have an opportunity to share in. So thank you, Candy. And thanks everybody else on the team. This is Shane Hyman signing off, and we will look forward to the next time. Thank you all again. Bye for now.